Welcome to Global Currents. In this episode, we unfold one of the most urgent and dangerous crises of our time, the escalating war between Iran, the United States, and Israel. This is not just a regional clash. It is a conflict that threatens energy supplies, global markets, and the fragile balance of international relations. Over the next 20 minutes, we will break down the roots of this war, the events that triggered it, the players involved, and the consequences that could reshape the world. To understand today's war, we must first look back. Iran and Israel have been locked in hostility for decades. Israel views Iran's nuclear ambitions as an existential threat, while Iran sees Israel as an illegitimate state propped up by Western powers. The United States, meanwhile, has long sought to contain Iran's influence in the Middle East, imposing sanctions, targeting its economy, and supporting Israel militarily. This triangle of hostility has been simmering for years, waiting for a spark. The spark came in the form of missiles. Iran launched waves of ballistic strikes at Israel, targeting areas near Tel Aviv and Dimona. The world watched as sirens wailed and civilians rushed to shelters. Israel retaliated swiftly, striking Iranian energy facilities in Isfahan and Khorramshahr. These attacks crippled oil and power production, sending shockwaves through the global energy market. The United States, unwilling to remain a spectator, deployed 3,000 airborne soldiers to the Middle East. Suddenly, this was no longer a regional conflict, it was a global confrontation. The battlefield may be in the Middle East, but the consequences are global. Oil prices surged overnight, shaking economies from Asia to Europe. Stock markets reacted with fear, investors pulled back, and energy insecurity spread across the globe. For countries dependent on Middle Eastern oil, the crisis is not just about geopolitics, it is about survival. The Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly 20% of the world's oil flows, has become the most dangerous chokepoint on Earth. Diplomacy has only added confusion. President Trump threatened strikes on Iranian power plants if Tehran did not reopen the Strait of Hormuz. At the same time, he claimed productive talks were underway. Iran denied any negotiations, vowing to fight until complete victory. Lebanon expelled Iran's envoy, showing how the war is destabilizing the wider region. The world is caught between threats, denials, and the fog of war. The question now is, where does this war go from here? One scenario is full escalation. Iran could intensify missile strikes, targeting deeper into Israeli territory. Israel, backed by US military support, could expand its retaliation, striking Iranian infrastructure and military bases. The United States, already deploying thousands of troops, may be drawn into direct combat. Such escalation risks pulling in other regional powers, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and even Russia, each with their own interests in the Middle East. A regional war could quickly spiral into a global crisis. Another scenario is a fragile ceasefire. International pressure is mounting. The European Union, China, and Russia have all called for restraint. The United Nations has urged immediate negotiations. Yet, the path to peace is narrow. Iran insists it will not negotiate under threat. Israel demands security guarantees. The United States wants the Strait of Hormuz reopened. Even if a ceasefire is declared, mistrust runs deep, and the risk of renewed fighting will remain high. The war is reshaping the Middle East. Lebanon has already expelled Iran's envoy, signaling its alignment against Tehran. Saudi Arabia, a longtime rival of Iran, is quietly supporting US and Israeli efforts. Turkey is balancing its position, wary of being dragged into a wider war. China, heavily dependent on Middle Eastern oil, is watching nervously, while Russia sees opportunity to expand its influence. Every nation is calculating its next move, knowing that the outcome of this war will redefine power in the region.
لسه للقاسمي.
Beyond the Middle East, the consequences are global. Oil prices continue to rise, threatening economies worldwide. Energy insecurity is spreading, with countries scrambling to secure alternative supplies. Stock markets are volatile, investors are cautious, and ordinary citizens are feeling the impact at the pump and in their daily lives. This war is not just about missiles and soldiers, it is about the stability of the global economy. As we conclude, remember this: the Iran, US, Israel war is not a distant conflict. It is a crisis that touches every corner of the globe, from the price of oil to the balance of power, from the fate of civilians to the future of diplomacy. This war is shaping the world we live in. Whether it escalates into a wider conflict or pauses in a fragile ceasefire, the stakes could not be higher. This is Global Currents, unfolding the world as it happens. Stay informed, stay aware, and join us again as we continue to track the currents of history.